We're gonna need this where we're going. And a little bit of it. So this time, we'll call this part 3. What am I doing with my hands? Even though this is technically sort of just an offshoot of the last video I made. I didn't want that to be too terribly long, but I did want to get into some of the weird dating advice that I stumbled upon when I was looking at the stuff I was looking at, which is in the previous video. Probably put a link somewhere. I think it was rating masculine shorts or TikToks or something. I don't remember. It's like 3 days ago. Point being, there were far too many videos, and some of them being about dating and what women want. Yes, we'll use some armchair psychology, some drunken logic, and hopefully as the videos progress, we'll get more and more sassy about the weird state of insecurity that men are in this day and age. It's okay, I can say that because I'm a guy. I'm allowed to say that we're fucking up. Kids these days. All right, so just like before, what I did was typed in how to find dates 2023 or something approximate to that, and just kind of scrolled around to things that I thought looked kind of interesting or like they might be giving weird or sensationalized advice. So we're gonna scroll through a just smattering of some things. Ladies, you're not safe either. I have some of your maybe terrible, maybe good advice to go through here as well. We shall see. I have not pre-watched. I try not to do that. I like to have a little like raw, reaction juice flowing from my pores when I look at this stuff. Wow. Okay. Let's get to it. I'm getting tired of never by me. And every time jump off. Now I can see I've been having wanted to be. All right, so here we have 6 first date tips to help you stand out from the rest of the men. All right, we're just going to take the logic exactly as it is, okay? Go through one by one as we do. Okay, so the tip number 1 is to offer to pay for her lunch or nails before you ever meet in person. Gonna go ahead and say no to that. Don't know why you would do that. That sets a weird precedent. It gives her weird expectations, gives her, them, they, anyone. This is advice for anybody. I don't know why would they, what? So the title of this is 6 first date tips to help you stand out from most men. You have to be paying for stuff that you don't, what's the point of that? Well, I mean, I guess if you have the money, if you want to just buy your date, which kind of defeats the purpose of finding a high value woman for these alpha males in the first place. Why do I think he's an alpha male type? Well, or book her a plane to you, which you have to have the money first. And why do you want to buy a woman's affection? That's if you're a man trying to date a woman, why do you want to buy a woman's affection? That just doesn't make any sense. I mean, if you want someone that isn't just in it for the money, I guess. So who is this advice for? Weird. And then number 2 is that dinner first dates are bare minimum. Not necessarily the worst advice. I don't know why it's oddly specific. Dinner first dates. I don't know. If I was to put myself into the shoes of dating me back in the Dizzy, I would probably say that it's because my hair's all wispy. My hair's all wispy right now. It's all wispy like a balding man. Wispy like a baldrix. Feeling uncultured. Where was I? The only reason that I could think that, dating me probably would have wanted to have a dinner date is to spend more time in the evening with this person that I've gone to dinner with, maybe. Maybe the chance for the SEXy times. I don't know. Why be so specific? Dinner date, walk around a park, coffee, and offer her a car to the location. Again, gonna have to say no. I guess if you can afford it, sure, offer it. I don't know why there's something that, I don't know what dictates that this needs to happen in order to stand out from somebody. Usually, I mean, I have 3 tips: is have a decent personality, ask a lot of questions about them, and show genuine interest in the things that they're into, and conversation will just kind of continue from there. I'll keep watching. I mean, so far we're at buy her something. What was the second one? I don't remember the second one. And offer her a car to the location. Oh, dinner first date. Again, so forgettable. Take the lead. Take charge, bro. And number 4 is don't make any sexual passes. I I feel like that's common sense. I feel like why does that have to be said? What kind of guys are you hanging out with if this is like genuine advice to help you stand out from most men? And what are you eating? Is that Ethiopian? That looks pretty good. I don't know, to be honest. That's like on a, I think it's like a flatbread or like a, I forget what it's called. What that flatbread's called. You tear it up with your fingers and then you wrap it around the food. It could be Indian food too. Could be roti on the bottom. I don't know. Oh, it's crisp. We're good. We're good. Number 4, I feel like is very common knowledge. So we're batting 0 out of 6 so far. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's keep going. Just enjoy the company and have some respect for yourself. Don't be too easy. What? I mean, it says it's advising this person not to make any sexual advances, and then it says don't be too easy. I don't know if that's the same thing. I mean, it feels like they're talking about little. We'll go with it. Number 5 is be consistent but not too available. You should have shit going on. Be busy. I mean, you're gonna be busy in like a normal life anyway, so number 5 is lead a normal life, have a full-time job, have hobbies and friends and family that you spend time with. And then number 6, it says it should be number 1. He's correcting himself here. Okay, get your financial situation together before trying to date. I'm guessing he's got the secret to tell me how to get me to make my widow bank account grow big. Anyway, none of this is actually about dating, so I don't know if this would have worked when I was dating, because I was working from the time I was 14, so my financial situation was fine, and that should be number 1 according to this guy. And then number 2 is none of them apply here. They're not dating advice. If I click on this guy's page, which why not? Oh no, it doesn't really seem like he's pushing an agenda. Okay, it's just bad advice. It's bad advice. Why are you gonna like be a good looking guy, seem like you have a good personality, and then give bad advice? Come on, I don't know. Have more money than other men. That's what the message was for that whole thing. Be normal and have more money than other guys. What am I doing right now? I'm adjusting my pants like an old man does, because I'm an old man, and that's what I do. Motherfuck. I wish I could just be comfortable, but I don't think I ever will be, ever in my life. All right, here we go. Here's the next one.
If you don't want to be single, I have 3 tips for you. Don't be desperate. Don't be hitting up every girl on IG, liking every photo. Don't use the I'm too broke to go on dates excuse. Just find budget-friendly dates. And don't take this the wrong way, but get used to rejection. It happens to everyone, and you shouldn't let that stop you from going after someone you like.
All right, so this is an easy one. 1, don't be desperate. Common sense advice. No one's going to be desperate. The thing that he says, though, is to not be overbearing. Like the way that he describes it. Don't be overbearing. Whatever, fine advice, but that's common sense. It's like not a dating tip. It's just common sense. And then the second one was to go on budget-friendly dates. I mean, yeah, it's common sense. A person with a budget has to use that budget to decide whether or not they're going to be able to spend money on a date. I thought that was, I thought everybody knew that. Am I wrong? And bowling, I don't know if this guy's been bowling lately, but that is like not a cheap date these days. And the rejection one is just kind of like, again, common sense. Like a person should be mentally well-adjusted and be able to be balanced in their emotions. Don't be afraid of rejection. And it's a little weird, though, as a bonus point, that he would say not to let it stop you from going after the girl you like or the person you like. If the person you like says no, accept that. You should accept that. It's weird. Unless this is a Hallmark movie, it's not. But unless it is, it's not. Common sense advice, but not good dating advice, just normal advice. We'll go on to the next one.
I'm gonna give you one of the best dating tips of all time. If you just follow this one rule, the simple rule is this: always match your level of interest. If you do that, you're gonna be perceived as a nice guy, you're gonna be perceived as the creep or the weirdo, and she's going to pull back. You have to make sure that she's chasing you. You can initially show some interest, but if she doesn't show it back and she doesn't show enthusiasm, you tone down your interest as well. Always playing the game. The difference is some people actually win the game and some people lose the game. And so you can choose which one you want to do.
Gives me my angry face when I see stuff like this. Ugh. All right, let's take this moment by moment, and I'll do my little armchair psychology on this. Okay, so he says that this is one of the best dating tips of all time that's going to help you immensely with women if you just follow this one rule. I'm not going to presume that he's selling anything, but this is a sales tactic. What he's doing, it's a way of getting clicks. It's a way of getting engagement when you stall for the first 15 seconds until you until you decide to finally make a point. So then he finally gets into it, and then he says, always match your level of interest. Those are literally the words that he says. What he means to say is don't exceed her level of interest. Not sure what the blunder is. Maybe he's reading from a script or a teleprompter, just trying to get a takedown. I don't know, not sure. But it's clear that he's not convicted in what he's believing, or he's just so nervous and insecure that he's deciding to trip over his words. I don't know. And then in the next breath, he says, never ever invest more than the woman invests in you. So the thing at the top that he meant to say again was never exceed her level of interest. And then what he said is the blunder of always match your level of interest. I don't know. And then he says that if you match their energy about something, like, or their level of interest, which is what he says, that they're gonna think that you're a nice guy or a creep. And I'm not quite sure what scenario he's thinking of here. If he, and a lot of these guys, they put videos on YouTube talking about giving dates because these are things that they've tried in the past that are now working for them, or not. These are things that the guys that make this type of content, what they will do is they'll go, on the internet, or they'll go on social media, or they'll ask their friends, and they'll say, like, what are some ways that you've found success in picking up women, or talking to people that you want to date, and they'll develop what they believe are skills on how to game the system and how to get dates and how to get girls and stuff, and then they'll share these tips, and this just happens to be that form of like what people would do that just happens to work for them, that they think is now universal, and they think like, oh, well, I'll put this advice on the internet because anyone can benefit from something if it worked for me. Problem is that it's just a very personal experience for everyone. Dating is very personal. Nobody's going to have the same experience as everybody else, and that's why I think that it's bad, or it sets a weird precedent to think that there's some kind of a guide or a top 10 list of advice or things that you can do that are going to get that girl or whatever, so that is why I'm doing this. Fancy that, Mr. Top Hat. But anyway, he says you're going to be seen as the nice guy or the creep, which probably might have been a reaction that either whoever wrote the script, whoever owns this channel, or the guy himself might have had been experiencing when they tried to date someone, and that's sort of the personal insecurity that they're projecting onto this dating advice. And then he says something that's like pretty manosphere red pill kind of common advice that you hear in a lot of these videos, is that you have to she's gonna pull back, and then you want her chasing you in order to signal that you are then ready to show interest again, and the message is to not show interest until that point, which is just kind of like I think I'm not going to continue breaking this down. I'm just going to get to his last point, which is talking about how, a lot of guys say that they don't want to play a game, and then he says that you're always playing a game, which, he got it right in the first part, and then he fucked it up in the second half. The message is that it isn't a game. It is just you being a balanced person, putting yourself out there and making yourself vulnerable, and trying to find a common interest with another person who is putting themselves out there and becoming vulnerable. And it isn't a game. It's just a feeling and a vibe, and put yourself out there and try to enjoy it for what it is for however long it lasts, and then move the fuck on. Bye. Moving on.
10 super simple first date tips, guarantee that you get a second date. Plan the date. So make the reservation. I like to do something fun and active before we even get to dinner. It's just a great icebreaker for us to just be around each other without it being too intimate. Golfing, bowling, a wine taste, escape room. Number 3, you want to confirm the day of with a simple good morning text. Hey, can't wait to see you later. Learn to have good conversation by asking great questions. Towards the end of the date is when you want to start hinting towards the second date. Splitting the bill on the first date is the absolute worst shit you could ever do, bro. Post-date etiquette is super important. The moment my ass hit the seat in my car, I'm immediately sending a text saying, hey, I had such a great time with you. Thanks for spending time with me.
So he didn't count them out. And I'm not sure. I think there was either 30 tips or there was 10 tips or 1 tip or 3 tips. And he said number 2 or number 3. I don't know. He said a lot of the same stuff that he said in the other one. I just kind of wanted to play this one because it looked like he was vaping at first. I thought that was funny, and I didn't understand it, and it was interesting to me. And then he shaves his forehead. Do you guys shave your foreheads? out there? Is that a thing that people do? You know what? Do what you do, I guess. Also, don't worry about, you can talk to the person. I think that really what he's saying is that respecting people is important, and that respecting your date is important, and that respecting your date's independence is important, and that making big displays about your identity or what you're into or who you are solely for the sake of playing some sort of a cat and mouse game of dating is just not the way to go. We'll assume that that's the message he was giving. I didn't see any identifiable tips. He just said the same shit that we've heard, and I'm not saying that he was the one saying the stuff that we've heard before, but it's all just common sense advice for human beings. None of it's like specifically, this guy seems really insecure. He's like, okay, not insecure. He's taking care of himself. It seems like he's really taking care of himself, which is he's meticulous in his routine. Personally, and I don't know if it's just because my skin is good. I don't know. But personally, I don't know if any of that skincare stuff is necessary. Maybe if you have like a history of blemishes or acne or skin condition or something like that, then I totally respect that. But I think that a lot of the stuff that we consume nowadays in social media and news and stuff like that, advertisements really try to take us for a loop. I mean, they try to tell us that without their personal skin bleach, you usually stain your towels with is gonna help you with your skin. It's just chemicals that you put onto your skin that like make it look better. It doesn't actually make it more healthy. So yeah, that's your skin advice tip from a guy that's never been an esthetician or whatever. Let's get back to it.
This mistake guys make on the first date.
Ooh, I think there's two. Like overly eager, so they're just like really excited to go on the date with you. You figured that out through text.
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of guys do this and will simp for a girl, but if the roles are reversed, then that's also like super unattractive and you lose interest in that girl.
And then the second one is that they fall into interview mode.
Clearly they're trying to bait us into actually watching the whatever channel this is, because what's the weird thing where sometimes they'll do like a lead in, like, oh, number 2 is that they don't do this, but they won't have a complete video on there. Like you have to like go searching for it, and oftentimes it doesn't even exist. Do they delete it? Do they not do it in the first place? Is it just do they just stop like right when that cuts? Is the director going like, all right, cut, and then they just stop in mid-sentence? Because there's some weird shit that happens in the world of AstroTurf YouTube channels. It's crazy. I wish that the conspiracy theorists would concentrate on that instead of flat earth, instead of QAnon, instead of all this shit. Why don't the conspiracy theorists go for the real conspiracies? That's my, I just wrote that. That's for my musical number, for musical I'm writing. It's called Weenie Bubble. Yep. So the question here is, what's the biggest mistake guys make on the first date? And her answer is again, just balloon juice. All it is just, well, when he's clingy, when he's overbearing, when he's overconfident, when he's overreaching in the planning of the future. And that's not clear, open, honest communication. That's not being attentive. That's not being present or being there for the other person. That's none of that. That's none of that stuff. So, I mean, the person that you're with's a douchebag already. So why are you on a date with a person like that in the first place? And then he's like turning it around into the whole, like, we got to get a rah from the red pillars by saying, oh, and if a woman does it, then, she's a psycho. And then just, I got to get a woman to agree with me just because she's in here in the studio. I got to do it. Praise the red pillars. I mean, don't be clingy in general. Again, common sense. Like, what about this is going to help a young man get a date? Because this is under dating tips. What? Don't be clingy? Like, dude, like go to therapy. Like, get a job and a steady income, and or if you're in school, do good, get good grades, do respectable things extracurricularly. Just be a good person. Like, I think it's harder to communicate how easy it is to be a good person than it is to just be one. You just don't be a dick. Like, that's the number one rule of the universe. Just don't be a dick. Bada bing. This dude in particular he's like 5'0" and maybe 100 and we'll say like, oh, he's got a bunch of glamour muscles on. Let's say he's like 265, big bulky fucking sausage. That was mean. I did not mean that. I'm sorry. I don't know you, dude. I don't know you. I just projecting my own insecurities onto you. See, I'm man enough to admit that. That's what a real man does, is they admit when they did something wrong. That's just me trying to virtue signal, but you know what? I'm gonna do it. Let's go to the next one.
Pickup lines. Nothing says low-value creepy guy to most women like a cheesy pickup line. A high-value man does not need to use pickup lines to sweep a woman off her feet.
That was a whole lot of 10. There's no insecurity there. It's just somebody like reading a script. And yeah, it's definitely agenda. Let's say there's definitely an agenda there. What are they selling? Let's see. This is giving real 5-minute crafts vibes. Joy anima. Oh yeah, it's just an AstroTurf channel meant to sell products. True.
I know first dates are extremely stressful. These are some things that men should definitely not be doing on a first date. Utter the words, wow, you ate a lot. Ask me to Venmo you. Talk about your ex. I'm so sorry, but I don't want to hear about where your thing has been. Leave the napkin on the table. Let's have some etiquette, bro. Use axe. We didn't just start puberty, dude. Be too full for dessert. Start showing me baby pictures. Bro, I don't care. I'm so uncomfortable.
Oh my god. Okay. I think I know why you're still single. Why are women posting L's like this? Why are you talking about how shitty you have it, how bad the dates you've been on are? I mean, I guess, yeah, I know, it sucks to be on a date with somebody who's rude or inattentive, but let's just go through these one by one. So she says the first thing is, wow, you ate a lot. Like, I don't think that anybody said that to you. I hope not. Fuck. Guys could be dicks, I guess. I really hope that nobody said that to you, young lady. Damn, that would suck. But why are you going out with someone who's gonna why are you, I don't know. I feel like you can get a good feel for what kind of personality somebody's gonna have before the first date in the initial conversation. I don't know. I heard her subsequent tips give us a bit more of a clue on maybe why she didn't pay attention to that kind of stuff. And number 2 is Venmo request. Aw, I think she front loaded the shitty things because the rest are things that are really personal for her. They're not universal things that people shouldn't do. We'll get there. Venmo request. Who's asking you for money? What? And the thing that she says that is making the person ask for money, which they shouldn't be doing in the first place, is that they have 0 testosterone in their body. What's with the insult? God damn. Right. They shouldn't be doing that, but you don't have to attack them because of it. Just don't go out with people like that. Fuck. Get a feel for their personality in the initial conversation. Like I said, you're normally supposed to. And then number 3 is the dreaded ex. I think this is probably one of those failed comedians turned YouTube personality who and let's be honest, all right? I think there's a lot of less than awesome, somewhat mediocre comedians who identify as women who believe that they need to be raunchy or pick me, I guess, for lack of a better term, in order to be funny or to stand out from the sea of other females, as she describes. Completely unnecessary, by the way. But so she does that. She says, the dreaded ex, I don't need to know where your thing's been. Who's having this type of conversation? Is she talking like this to the people she's going on dates with? If so, I guess I can understand why they're not calling. Let's continue. And number 4 is leaving the napkin on the table. Honey, why do you give a shit? Why is that a thing that you're upset about? Why is that a thing that you spend 2 seconds thinking about? Who gives a fuck if someone puts a napkin on it or leaves a napkin on the table? Not everybody knows proper etiquette. Not everybody has, grown up with a full, complete fucking family, Some people were adopted and grew up in foster homes or grew up in shit, man, some people grew up on the goddamn ranch, farmers. You're not gonna date farmers because they didn't learn how to put a goddamn napkin in their lap at a I don't know, cheesecake factory? Where are you trying to eat? You Southern California broke ass silver bar pendant wearing country music star name having upstart. You? Who do you think you are? I think I have the first beer tipsies. What was I saying? Oh yeah, no one cares if you leave the napkin on the table. I mean, it's in some etiquette books and it's taught in some etiquette schools and it's observed by some families that have weird rules about things that you're supposed to put your napkin on your lap, but it really doesn't matter. Why is that one of your deal breakers? Why isn't your first filter ruling out guys that ask you for money on Venmo? That should be, for me, I feel like that I'd want to root those guys out first, because then maybe you're not meeting guys that leave napkins on the table. table. Maybe you're loot filtering your dating life here. You're loot filtering your dating personality. Let's have some etiquette. He uses a slang word and then a slur and then a curse word. Let's have some etiquette, bro. Bro is not proper etiquette. And then put that shit in your lap. No, that's not etiquette either, Missy. Number 5 is use axe. I agree with her, but I think everybody knows that axe is terrible. I think the only one, and yeah, that would be a deal breaker. So yes, agreed. Number 5 itself gets a 10 out of 10 for accuracy. Nothing else so far has resonated with me in any positive, good dating advice sort of way. And it's not because she's a woman. I keep my sexism hiding just under the surface, under a big pile of ally syndrome. All right, so don't come at me. And I dress like a lesbian, so I'm gonna get another beer. And then she says, be too full for dessert. And the reasons that she gives the reasons that she gives are so weird. Either you want to leave, you're a health nut, or you think she's fat. That gets a 10 out of 10 for insecurity right there. What the fuck is wrong with you? Maybe they don't want dessert. Maybe they don't. And here's just a tip from a restaurant professional for most of you people out there who plan on going on dates at some point. Dessert is actually where a restaurant makes most of its money because it's the cheapest thing to make, it's the cheapest thing to sell, and it makes the most money, and it takes the least amount of effort. Unless it's like a dessert restaurant, like unless they're known for their desserts, like their cakes or their like baked goods or whatever, it's really not worth your pocketbook ordering salads or desserts. Those are the two items. And I say this being a business owner who wants you to order salads. It's like 150% margin. Like I want you to buy salads, but I'm telling you right now, if you want to save money on a date and you want to you can even take that advice and take everything I said and say that to your date. And that could be a great topic of conversation. There, I just gave you an icebreaker. Talk about how restaurants make their money on fucking pies. And it doesn't seem to matter to her that maybe he can't afford the dessert. Like him being a cheapskate's okay. Him wanting to leave's not okay. This guy, I gotta finish my drink, god damn it! Oh, and then the last one. I feel real bad about that one. She said that a dude did that to her on her last date. And she I hope she was gracious. I hope that she at least was like, oh, cool, dude. Yeah, like good, like even if it sounded like she was unenthusiastic, but I hope she at least pretended to be attentive. Because that's so fucked up. You create another life, and that's your pride and joy. Like she's showing people pictures of her fucking turtle or whatever. Like I guarantee you, like, and someone that has created a life can't just share that with someone that they're trying to start a connection with. They're trying to like find things in common and develop a relationship with someone, and they're just trying to show that a part of themselves. Like, fuck, man. That's her own. She's trying to confront her mortality overall, but more specifically, she's trying to confront the stage of her life where she like feels any kind of maternal instinct. And so that's like just my armchair psychological interpretation of what's going on. There's no reasonable excuse that somebody would have to just be like so put off by seeing someone's children. God damn. Okay. Not pushing an agenda though, at the very least.
Women want to be with guys that women have already selected that men admire. You ask anybody that does public speaking, being they get down off the stage, these wives, girlfriends, whoever they happen to be, they throw themselves at their guy. They love that shit, right?
What? Women want to be with men that men admire, I guess is his point here. They want guys that women have already selected, so they want to cheat. So this guy's insecurity is that women want to cheat. They want to be home wreckers, and then that they want powerful men that women already want. And the source that he uses is ask any public speaker, ask anyone who's done public speaking. That's his source for verification for this information. Interesting. So his insecurities are that he's bad at public speaking and that his wife or girlfriend doesn't like him because he's not as powerful as one of his powerful friends or something. Like they may have expressed some innocuous interest, like, oh, your friend is so successful, something totally innocent. And this guy probably internalized that and turned that into his entire identity, and now is turning it into advice for stupid people. And he says that the reason why they're so attractive is because they're standing in front of a room full of people and that they get applause and that people listen to them. maybe I'm just not susceptible to that kind of power, but I don't know. It doesn't move me. But it's called the Unplugged Alpha, so I assume that there's some kind of agenda there. You know, there's some kind. I mean, you know, men with insecurities tend to be around my age, a little older, from the generation above mine, tend to be a little bit more insecure than others. You know, who knows? Because mental health and all that stuff was stigmatized when they were growing up. So, you know, product of their generation doesn't mean they can't change or shouldn't. You should evolve. People should evolve. Let us move on from this. You may have noticed that I'm wearing something different or changed in some way. Don't question it.
What do you look for in a man physically?
Well, I like a man to be bigger than me and to be skinny fellas are okay depending on their character.
Well, I'm very attracted to men who are able to sing and play music.
I like him to be taller than me, not too heavy.
Well, a tall, very, very broad man.
I like them thin and sort of well built. I find that I think certain people are attractive and they're usually fairly slim.
What is your type? Like, what do you like physically?
Rich, 6'1", light skin.
So how much does a guy need to make?
It don't matter what he makes, it matters how he spend it.
How should he spend it?
On me.
So would you say you're an expensive person? Do you expect your man to pay all the bills?
Duh.
Your car payment, your hair, your nails, everything.
Oh men, are we okay? Are we doing all right? Are we okay? Are we all right? Is there something going on? Come sit down. Talk to me. What's happening with them? What's happening? I need to know what's going on with the men. Okay. So this video is about the difference between 1960s women and 2023 women. The foundation of this argument is that women nowadays are much different than they used to be. In what ways? Well, only one apparently. So the first segment talks about a lot of different broad interests. As you could tell, several of the people who were interviewed said, oh, I like tall guys. So one said skinny, one said muscular, one said athletic, one said doesn't matter, one said they like light hair, blonde hair, one said they like, you know, dark hair. To them, it seems like preferences exist. They just happen to be specific to that individual. And if you, as a person, don't happen to fit that criteria, then that's okay, because there's going to be the next interviewee who likes exactly the opposite of the previous one, who's gonna probably like you. That's just establishing that preferences exist and that people have preferences towards certain, you know, sizes, shapes, or whatever. Guys have preferences, women have preferences, everybody has preferences. That's not a thing that is indicative of now being a different time than the 60s. That's just preferences existed back then, preferences exist now. And then when it kicks over to the 2023 section, we get one of these very notorious in the manosphere red pill spaces, street interviews often conducted by people who have very specifically targeted questions, always having to do with that specific person's preference for a significant other. And it's usually women. It's usually late at night when the bars are letting out. It's usually someone who's intoxicated, but not obviously so. And sometimes it is pretty obvious, but I mean, the whole goal here is for these people who create this content to increase the divide between men and women, between and to drive a wedge into the discourse between marginalized groups. Okay, that means that any person of color, that means anyone on the LGBT spectrum. This is the whole goal. It's propaganda. It's meant to drive a wedge in between the discourse of any marginalized group. This happening to be women, you know, it's just a coincidence that she's you know, a person of color. I'm not certain which ethnicity she is, but this is supposed to be a snapshot of modern day, right? It doesn't matter if the host is black. What matters is that the person they're interviewing is someone they believe, or they believe their viewers will believe, is representative of women in 2023. So their arguments are always that there are too many races, there are too many genders, that men are wearing women's clothing and trying to trick or convert straight men. Their argument is that a modern woman is often not white, often not Christian, often entitled, and I don't know what I'm doing with that. With my hands. I'm passionate. It makes me passionate. I have a mind of its own. But she instantly says rich, and you can tell tell the whole time she's talking to the guy, she's completely uninterested. She does not want to be there having this conversation. Chances are he offered her money. He said, hey, I'll give you 20 if you interview me or something, or that they would shout out her socials, or I don't know how they get people to talk to them. Probably alcohol helps, but that's what they're doing here. Their goal is to create a snapshot of what they think their viewers are going to believe that every woman is like in 2023. First of all, each single person they interviewed all has their own preferences, their own free will, and they can decide what they like. And none of them are any kind of example overall of how women operate. It's just propaganda. If you're on the street and you're having a good time, you're thinking to yourself like, man, I don't want to be here. I want to be partying with my friends. And this guy's like asking me questions and stuff. I'm just gonna say whatever comes to mind. Rich. So she says rich. And sure, maybe she might personally believe that she needs a guy to be rich to get with her. That's fine. Whatever. That's her criteria. You don't have to try and get with her. That's not the person that you need to be with. So what? Let her do what she wants. She's not every woman. The people that fund these channels, the people that sponsor these channels, Flirting Mastery. Don't want to shout them out, but wow, I might look at some more of their videos. But this is clear. They're trying to push an agenda. The person who's pushing it or agrees with it or whatever is probably very insecure. This guy is clear. The host is probably insecure. Like, he asks a girl if she wants to have sex with him. Like, come on, man. Like, don't put yourself at you're supposed to be in part. If you're like, just FYI, if you watch any kind of commentary or like news or whatever, the journalist is not supposed to put themselves into the feature. That's stupid. They're supposed to be an unbiased observer. Let's move on. Yes, there's an agenda. We already know that. Hey, I'm wearing something different again. Don't worry about it.
The idea
that what a guy actually wants in a wife is someone that has been through a bunch of guys is on its face ridiculous. But it's the same thing when you actually ask women. The idea that what a good woman really wants is some Casanova, is a fairy tale made by crappy men for other crappy men. A woman in a loving relationship is a woman that doesn't feel compared to a number of faceless women every time her husband closes his eyes.
My guy. Oh Lord. Insecurity's through the roof on this one. The idea that what a guy actually wants in a wife, like, come on, man. Like, nobody should care about that. That's not a thing. I mean, come on, it's 2023. Why are we still worrying about people's body counts? Like, why is that a thing? Why does that term exist? And then this guy says like a Casanova or whatever. So he's clearly jealous of all the guys that got the girls that he never was able to get. He's projecting his insecurity onto his wife. He doesn't want her to have slept with anyone. And if he's married, I don't know. I'm sure this dude has a podcast, so yes, it's propaganda.
Consistently say they want a gentleman. It means that there's a certain authority about you. You're opening doors. You're making sure she gets home okay. You are exhibiting a form of dominance. It's important to them that that guy be a financially stable rock to lean on. That structure is absolutely present in society, not because society tells you, but because women are biologically inclined. Our hormonal cycle does not enable us to be 9 to 5. It doesn't. Even when it comes to exercise, that's a reality. Our biology is ticking time, like a ticking time bomb toward, do I want a family? Do I want to have a baby? Pregnancy, ups and downs of a menstrual cycle, all of that comes into play.
Wow. My God, ladies, you ain't safe either. That was terrible. Women do not consistently say that they want a dominant man. She says herself, gentlemen. I mean, what study is she citing? Second, like, how does being considerate translate to being authoritative? It doesn't. I don't know why she's equating the two. That's not a thing. You're opening doors for someone. It just means you're being nice. You're making sure they got home safely. You're being safe. And then she says that women also consistent, again, what study is she citing? State that they want a man who makes over $100,000 a year. God damn. The average salary in America is around 40. Well, 60. I think it's like, still, like, god damn. Like, who's making? Women don't say that. Nobody says that. Nobody says that. Nobody needs, 100,000 a year? Is that it? Is that all you want? Okay, all right. I'll just get a job as a doctor. When does a doctor start out? Okay, yeah, it's 120, so they want a doctor. I want a rich Jewish doctor. Okay, sure. Oh, and then she just like goes on talking about how like the men sees, oh, we can't have a career if we're pregnant. Ooh, glass ceiling. Oh, come on, man. Women are capable of just about as much shit as men are. Men are just about as big bitches as women are. Like, come on, man. Like, everybody's equal here. There's interlock. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about the interlock, the specifics. What is this argument? And then, is this propaganda? Fuck yeah, it's propaganda. It's a woman hating woman, talking about women. Not good.
Who complain about having zeros, have no idea how the female sex drive actually works.
My favorite thing is when couples come in and they haven't had
in a year. And I ask why, and she looks at him and says, because he hasn't asked. If you have given her the adequate emotional bonding, her sex drive will go way up. I've worked with couples in their 60s. They come in having very little and they leave after a few sessions having 3 or 4 or 5 times a week because they improve their actual emotional intimacy with
First, how is this a reaction video? What are you doing? Chris Wilkes. Goddamn it, I shouted out his channel. Goddamn. Well, whatever. Free advertising. What are you doing? How are you reacting? What are you reacting to? What is this? What, you're just introducing some dude? What, and he didn't say 15 facts. There was one fact. The fact was communicate with your partner. That's it. The guy didn't know that the wife wanted to spend time with him because he never asked. He never said anything. He never said, hey, I feel like we're getting a little distant. Is there any like particular reason? Is everything okay? How we doing? Therapy can help, not psychology hacks on YouTube. That's for damn sure. And who are you? Why are you here? Why are you here if you're just going to present footage of somebody? Not an alpha male, that's for damn sure. You didn't even want to have yourself in the video talking about these things or reacting. Just saying what husbands who complain about, and then that's it. And dude, this guy, how reliable is this source? He cannot be having a lot of... If he's referring to his wife as being in mate retention mode, like, that's spicy, I guess. And sure, everything's propaganda, so might as well be. Why not?
Says, Patrick, this is very hard for me to say this. She says, ever since in high school, I wanted to prove to men that I can beat them. So when I graduated high school and college, I opened up my salon. I've made millions of dollars. I have millions. I don't worry about any of that stuff. You know what decision I made last night? I said, what's that? She says, I want a husband. I no longer want to compete with men. I need them. And now she's getting emotional. How many 65-year-old women do we have to hear saying that I march with the feminist movement and I bought into the fact that men are the enemy? I've never been married. I'm alone and I'm miserable, and I wish I would have never bought into that philosophy.
Whoa, buddy. Hey, this is what he built his empire off of. This guy's like a rich incel. Maybe that's what he does. Maybe he internalized that, and that's how he got all his money. This one account, it's of course a second-hand account, I guess, of this likely fictitious woman who may have rejected him in high school, this ideal woman that he wished that he had gotten with, who now wishes she had a husband. You should have chosen me back when I was interested in you, before I was a mogul and then super secure about myself, and my masculinity. But even if this one person decided that, this, again, fictitious person decided that they're unhappy with being independent and that they regretted what they had done for the feminist movement, I guess, it doesn't matter. Like, that's one person. It doesn't make a whole movement unravel simply because one person has a take about something. If even 1 million people having a take about something wouldn't destroy an entire movement. Even 10 million people having a take about something would not destroy an entire movement. That's not how that works. Can't kill an idea. It doesn't work like that. That's actually what this is. That's what this propaganda is, which, yes to the question. That's what this is. This stuff is meant to destroy the idea. It's not the idea that is destroying society. It's them that are trying to destroy this idea. And the ideas are something as simple as like trans people exist. Like fuck, goddamn, man. Yeah, bing bong, bad video.
This type of guy doesn't chase women, and I'll tell you why. Number one, if he's really this type of guy, he probably don't have an issue with women. That's number one. Number two, when a man is secure and he's confident, and he's good being by himself, this type of guy don't struggle with being alone. He wants you, but he don't need you. You don't want a man that needs someone. You want a guy that's okay being alone, because if you're in his space or he wants you around, you know he genuinely wants you around.
Using a lot of incel terminology to really just describe a person who's secure in themselves, a person who's well-adjusted and balanced. But I feel like it's a little weird, like she's espousing this belief that the person should be okay with being alone, but that it's a strength. Simply being alone itself is a strength, but that's not what it is. Being able to accept your circumstances, being able to balance your emotions and retain discipline through it, and to make it out on the other side. She's really just saying that I guess the guy she's crushing on is a well-adjusted person, and she's wrapped it in this cloak of Sigma male red-pilled something or other.
I'll give you $5 if you can get a girl's number.
Okay. Hi.
Hi.
What's your name?
Sam.
Sam? My name's Tony. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Where are you from?
From SoCal.
SoCal?
Yeah.
That's cool. So what would you rate me on a scale from 1 to 10?
I don't know, like a 9.
A 9?
Yeah.
Just give me a 5. I'll be your other half.
Okay, you're 5.
W Riz?
Sure.
Can I get your number?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. That's how you like it in Hawaii.
I love it.
Sure about that?
100%, yeah.
That's what they all say, though. I'll give you a reason to stay. Okay, I'll text you then. Catch you later.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
Have a beautiful day.
Thank you so
That's Jamba money, baby.
First of all, what's Riz? I'm like a 40-year-old man. I don't know what that is. Is it ejaculate? I'm assume it's game. It's game, but I think it's also, I don't know. But so what was the glitch? Be friendly? I'm waiting. Be friendly. That's about it. I mean, there was no advice. He rated, and then it was a bit of a weird interaction too. I mean, he's like, hey, so how'd I do? You like that? Would you rate me? Want to rate me out of a 1 to 10? What would you say? Yeah, I'd give you a reason to stay. Rate me a 5 and I'll be your other half. Would you say Riz? Can I get your number? Give you a reason to stay. 0 out of 10.
I mean, I'm trying to see if you're trying to play. I don't like being rejected.
It's hot.
Yeah, let's get in the car, man. What's your 3 core values?
Respect, honesty, dignity.
You gonna leave me if I ain't got the money?
Personal problem.
You can get up and fuck up my car. You are the bullshit.
Get you some money.
I'm trying to f you.
What? Okay, so I mean, clearly it says it's a prank, but I mean, it also says how to gold digger viral. Like, what? Come on, man. Like, clearly she's an actress. Clearly this is scripted. Clearly he rented that car. This man does not own that car. And I guarantee you that the comments are just, let's see. She out for money, dollar emoji, looking left emoji, nerd emoji, thumbs up emoji, sword emoji, dancing robot emoji, wake up bro, with 2 likes. So that's the caliber of this programming. 0 out of 10.
How to get any girl to text you back. So off the jump, you gotta stop making these mistakes. The first thing, you gotta stop being bored. Women know when you text them that you got interest in them. They know you're not trying to be friends. Second thing, stop doing too much validating, bro. Every nigga do that. Don't tell them how beautiful they is 24/7. The third thing, don't be too available. Don't reply back super fast and have no emotion. If y'all need help on what to say, y'all DM me on Instagram. Hit the plus for more sauce.
I'm sorry? What is sauce? I don't understand kids, man. Okay, so the advice here is how to get any girl to text you back. Any girl. Now this will work on any girl. This will work on your mom. This will work on your sister. This will work on your first cousin, your second cousin, your third cousin, your sister's cousin, your cousin's cousin. B. Arthur, B. Franklin, B. Benjamin, B. BoJack Horseman. So this was supposed to be like this will get any girl to text you back. Now you got to stop doing these things. Okay, come on, don't change the direction of the river. You can't. That's not. You're blue balling me. I don't know what's happening. I'm already confused by what's sauce. I don't know what sauce is. What is this? I like the minimalist design of the sweatshirt with the single rows, but what is it? It's confusing. He's got a video game on his wall. Okay, so he says you got to stop being boring. Boring? What is boring mean? Not doing anything, being a lump on a log, being lazy, not like having any ambitions or goals or what? I mean, I'm ready to hear it. So apparently he says that women know when you text them that you're not trying to be friends. As someone who grew up with many friends who were both guys and girls, like I don't think that makes sense. I don't think every woman thinks that a guy who's texting them is trying to make out with them. Maybe I'm not a woman. I don't have their hive mind. I can't like tap into it. So I don't know. But so he says what, to like leave him alone or what? Like just don't tell him anything, or don't. He's saying to stop being boring, but that's like stop communicating. And then he says too much validation, which is like texting them back. That's what he equates it to. So that's weird too. What? Don't you want people to like things that you're talking about, or don't you want them to engage with you? Like, I don't know, it seems weird that you would not want to like respond to stuff they say. And it's true, you don't want to be overbearing. You don't want to text them every single hour, like all the time, sure, but regular correspondence is okay. Checking in, what's up? And then he says the next thing is being too available. Like what does that mean? Being too available? Sure, but replying back super fast and have no motion, I don't quite know what that means. If I'm free and I notice that there's a text on my phone, I'll usually reply no matter when the person sent it. I'm not doing some calculus equation to find that out. So yeah, I don't know. And that's it. That's all he got. Okay, not well informed and not good advice. Well, we got down to the bottom of the barrel and I am tapped out of Riz, I guess. Anyway, next time we'll do something a little bit more benign, a little bit less of a political or social statement, because I did recording a video that I spent a little bit more time writing out and figuring out and thinking about and stuff. So it took a little bit of my brain power out of me. And so we'll do something a little more cash. That's about all I got for you.